Joe Zikas from YoChicago. I'm at the Windermere House with Deirdre Pullins.
Okay.
And we're here to talk about charity that she's running.
Okay, the name of our charity is Jordyne Cares. It is named for my daughter. And I'm going to get misty already. My daughter passed 2.5 years ago.
Oh, sorry.
From an inoperable brain tumor.
How old was she?
9, right before her 10th birthday. So, now that I got
totally heartbreaking.
It is. Jordyne Cares is a charity based on helping families, assist families with funeral costs after the death of a sick child. It's named in honor of my daughter who made her transition, and our whole goal is just to help make it easier for families. Losing your child is difficult enough. Losing them after a long illness or a sudden illness is extremely difficult. But having to beg people for money to bury them, it's just unthinkable.
It is unthinkable.
And the children deserve that sort of dignity and respect, and the parents do. I mean, it's a really, really hard time. I mean, years go by and you still miss your baby. You still miss who they were and what they were in your life and who you are as a result of being a parent. But having the shame, and it's really a kind of a crazy thing the way that I look at it, but having the shame of trying to reconcile the fact that you didn't have enough money to bury your baby is just something that we don't think anybody should have to endure. But the fact of the matter is that a charity such as this does not really exist. So we came up with the idea. I was sitting in the hospital with my daughter one day, and I looked around the room. We spent a lot of time in Children's Memorial, and I looked around the room in the clinic, and I looked at all of the babies, and when I say babies, I mean all children. I looked at all of the babies that were sick from chemo, that were sick from radiation treatments and this and that. And I'm looking at my baby who's in her wheelchair zooming up and down the hall. And to have known Jordyne is to have loved her, but she would argue with her doctor and say, look, I'm not going into that waiting room until you go into the waiting room. I'm in the playroom when you need me. So I'm looking at her rolling back and forth, and I look around the room and I think all of these babies aren't going to make it. I'm not thinking that my baby's going to be in one of them. That's the reality of treatment, is that as long as you're in treatment and you're trying to get your baby taken care of, you're looking for the best possible outcome, no matter what state that they're in. And so when this hit me that all of these babies aren't going to make it, it really didn't occur to me that my baby would be one of them, because I couldn't look and see it at that point. And as it turned out, about a year or so later, my daughter was one that didn't make it. And I thought, wow. But at that point, you know, I'm thinking, what do you do? Because you're spending all of your time in the hospital. You're spending all of your time carrying your children back and forth to their treatments. I was a single parent.
And you've probably exhausted your financial resources.
Yeah, you do.
Even if you had some.
You do. I was a single parent, but those parents that have their two-parent homes and parents that have multiple children, and there are things that go on back and forth, like you're talking about the resources, but there's also sometimes if there are two parents, one parent may have to quit a job in order to tend to that one child full time. And then not to mention the other children that must be taken care of. Everything, all of the resources go into trying to save that baby's life.
What area do you serve, and how do people find out about you?
We cover the Chicagoland area. People find out about us from the social workers in the hospital. And the reason that we set that process up was because social workers are already familiar with the families that are in need. The social workers, I'll go back to Children's Memorial. On the hematology oncology floor, there's a social worker generally assigned to a patient. The social worker will come and ask you if you need help with transportation, you need this, you need that, groceries and things of that nature. So these people already have, pastoral care and social workers already have an insight to the families that need help or may need help. The parents may contact them, but more than likely they've already formed a relationship with those patients. So they know who needs it, and those would be the people that's how we'll receive our referrals.
How do people make a donation to you?
They can make a donation to us here at the Windermere. Our office is located 1642 East 56th Street, ground floor, 60637. You can contact us through our website, which is www.jordynecares.org or .com. You can make donations that way. You can give us a phone call, 773-952-8294, and talk to us about donation. We will come and get the donation. We don't want to inconvenience you in any sort of way because the need for this is very real. You can also find us on Facebook. We have Jordyne Cares, which is Jordyne, Cares, Cares, has a fan page, and you can like us on Facebook and choose us and contact us that way. Everything always links back to the JordyneCares.org webpage.
Jordyne is still with you in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite memory of her?
I would think it's her giggle. It's her giggle. She giggled, and I call it a giggle, but I think it was just a full all-out belly laugh. But she giggled when she cracked jokes. She giggled when she saw something funny. She giggled when you told her jokes, even if they were bad ones.
She was a little girl.
She was just a little girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that I think would be her laugh. It would be her laugh. This is my tearjerker moment, but this is for all the families that lose babies. And I will share something with you that my daughter shared with me before she left me. She said, "Mom, don't ever think you didn't love me enough." And that was very, very strong and very poignant for a 9-year-old. But for all the families that have done their best, I mean their absolute level best for their babies. And even if you think now you didn't do your best, don't ever think you didn't love them enough. Because you do. And you did.